What is it like to be working as an elf in Santaland? David Sedaris, in this piece entitled The Santaland Diaries, is going to give you a peek behind the curtain as to exactly what that feels like. So without further ado, I'd now like to introduce Eliana and Sophia, and they are going to begin reading The Santaland Diaries by David Sedaris. Enjoy.
I was in a coffee shop looking through the want ads when I read Macy's Herald Square, the largest store in the world, has big opportunities for outgoing, fun-loving people of all shapes and sizes who want more than just a holiday job. Working as an elf in Macy's Santaland means being at the center of the excitement. I circled the ad, and then I laughed out loud at the thought of it. The man seated next to me turned on his stool, checking to see if I was a lunatic. I continued to laugh, quietly. The woman at Macy's asked,
"Would you be interested in full-time elf or evening and weekend elf?"
I said full-time elf. I have an appointment next Wednesday at noon. I am a 33-year-old man applying for a job as an elf. I often see people on the streets dressed as objects and handing out leaflets. I tend to avoid leaflets, but it breaks my heart to see a grown man dressed as a taco. So, if there's a costume involved, I tend not only to accept the leaflet, but to accept it graciously, saying, "Thank you so much." And thinking, "You poor, pathetic son of a gun, I don't know what you have, but I hope I never catch it." This afternoon on Lexington Avenue, I accepted a leaflet from a man dressed as a camcorder. Hot dogs, peanuts, tacos, video cameras, these things make me sad because they don't fit in on the streets. In a parade? Maybe, but not on the streets. I figured that, at least as an elf, I'll have a place. I'll be in Santa's village with all of the other elves. We'll reside in a fluffy wonderland surrounded by candy canes and gingerbread shacks. It won't be quite as sad as standing on some street corner dressed as a French fry. I'm trying to look on the bright side. I arrived in New York 3 weeks ago with high hopes. Hopes that have been challenged. In my imagination, I'd go straight from Penn Station to the offices of One Life Left to Live, where I would drop off my bag and spruce up before heading off for drinks with Cord Roberts and Victoria Buchanan, the show's greatest stars. We'd sit in the plush booth at a Tony cocktail lounge where my new celebrity friends would lift their frosty glasses my direction and say,
"A toast to David Sedaris, the best writer this show has ever had."
I'd say, "You guys, cut it out." It was my plan to act modest. People at surrounding tables would stare at us whispering, Is that? But instead, I'm applying for a job as an elf. Even worse than applying is the very real possibility that I will not be hired, that I couldn't even find work as an elf. That's when you know you're a failure. This afternoon, I sat in the 8th floor Santaland office and was told,
"Congratulations, Mr. Sedaris. You are an elf."
In order to become an elf, I filled out 10 pages worth of forms, took a multiple choice personality test, underwent 2 interviews, and submitted urine for a drug test. The first interview was general, designed to eliminate the obvious sociopaths. During the second interview, we were asked why we wanted to be elves. This is always a problem question. I listened as the woman ahead of me, a former waitress, answered the question saying,
"I really want to be an elf because I think it's about acting. And before this, I worked in a restaurant, which was run by this really wonderful man who had a dream to open a restaurant. And it made me realize that it's really, really important to have a dream."
Every single thing this woman said, every phrase and sentence was punctuated with a question mark, and the interviewer never raised an eyebrow. When it was my turn, I explained that I wanted to be an elf because it was one of the most frightening career opportunities I had ever come across. The interviewer raised her face from my application and said,
And
After the second interview, I was brought to the manager's office where I was shown a floor plan. On a busy day, 22,000 people come to visit Santa, and I was told that it's an elf's lot to remain merry in the face of torment and adversity. I promised to keep that in mind. All we sell in Santa Land are photos. People sit upon Santa's lap and pose for a picture. The photo elf hands a slip of paper with a number printed along the top. The form is filled out by another elf, and the picture arrives via mail weeks later. So really, all we sell is the idea of a picture. One idea costs $9, 3 ideas cost $18. My worst nightmare involves 22,000 people a day standing before my register. I won't always be a cashier, just once in a while. The worst part is that after I have accumulated $300, I have to remove 200, fill out a half dozen forms, and run the envelope of cash to drop in the China department or to the vault on the balcony above the first floor. I am not allowed to change my clothes beforehand. I have to go dressed as an elf. An elf in Santaland is one thing, an elf in sportswear is something else altogether. We were given a lecture by the chief of security who told us that
Macy's Herald Square suffers millions of dollars worth of employee theft per year.
As a result, the store treats its criminal the way one might treat a felon with a long criminal record. Cash rewards are offered for turning people in, and our bags are searched every time we leave the store. We were shown videotapes in which supposed former employees hanged their heads and ruled the day they ever thought of to steal that leather jacket. One fellow stared at his hands and sighed.
There's no way I'm going to be admitted to law school. Not now. Not after what I've done. No. No way.
A lonely, reflective girl sat in a coffee shop, considered her empty cup, and moaned.
I remember going out after work with all my Macy's friends. God, those were good times. I love those people.
She stared off into space for a few moments before continuing.
Well, needless to say, those friends aren't calling anymore. This time I've really messed up. Why did I do it? Why?
This morning we were lectured by Santaland's managers and presented with a copy booklet of regulations titled The Elfin Guide. Most of the managers are former elves who have worked their way up the candy cane ladder but retain vivid memories of their days in uniform. They closed the meeting saying,
I want you to remember that even if you are not a signed photo elf on a busy weekend, you are not Santa's slave.
In the afternoon, we were given a tour of Santaland, which is really something. It's beautiful, a real wonderland, with 10,000 sparkling lights, fall snow, train sets, bridges, decorated trees, mechanical penguins and bears, and really tall candy canes. One enters and travels through a maze, a path which takes you from one festive environment to another. The path at the end is the magic tree. The tree is supposed to resemble a complex system of roots, but looks instead like a scale model of the human intestinal tract. Once you pass the magic tree, the light dims, and the elf guides you to Santa's house. The houses are cozy and intimate, laden with toys. You exit Santa's house and are met with a line of cash registers. We traveled the path a second time and were given the code names of various paths such as the vomit corner, a mirrored wall near the magic tree where nauseous children tend to surrender the contents of their stomachs. When someone vomits, the nearest elf is supposed to yell,
Vamoose!
which is the name of the janitorial product used by the store. We were taken to the oh my god corner, a position near the escalator. People arriving see the long line and say,
oh my god.
And it is an elf's job to calm them down and explain that it will take no longer than an hour to see Santa.
On any given day, you could be an entrance elf, a water cooler elf, a bridge elf, train elf, maze elf, island elf, magic window elf, emergency exit elf, counter elf, magic tree elf, pointer elf, Santa elf, photo elf, usher elf, cash register elf, runner elf, or exit elf. We were given a demonstration of the various positions in action, performed by returning elves who were so animated and relentlessly cheerful that it embarrassed me to walk past him. I don't know if I could look at someone in the eye and exclaim,
oh my goodness, I think I can see Santa.
Or,
can you close your eyes and make a very special Christmas wish?
everything these elves said had an exclamation point at the end of it. It makes one's mouth hurt to speak with such forced merriment. I feel cornered when someone talks to me this way. Doesn't everyone? I prefer being frank with children. I'm more likely to say, "You must be exhausted," or "I know a lot of people who would kill for that little waistline of yours." Today was elf dress rehearsal. The lockers and dressing rooms are located on the 8th floor, directly behind Santaland. Elves have gotten to know one another over the past 4 days of training, but once we took off our clothes and put on the uniforms, everything changed. My costume is green. I wear green velvet knickers, a yellow turtleneck, a forest green velvet smock, and a perky stocking cap decorated with spangles. This is my work uniform. My elf name is Crumpet. We were allowed to choose our own names and given permission to change them according to our outlook on the snowy world. Today was the official opening day of Santaland, and I worked as a magic window elf, a Santa elf, and an usher elf. The magic window is located in the adult quick peek line. My job was to say, "Step on the magic star and look through the window, and you can see Santa." I was at the magic window for 15 minutes before a man approached me and said,
You look so stupid.
I have to admit that he had a point, but still, I wanted to say that at least I get paid to look stupid, and that he gives it away for free. But I can't say things like that because I'm supposed to be married. So instead I said, "Thank you. Thank you," as if I had misunderstood and thought he had said,
You look terrific.
This evening, I was sent to be a photo elf, a job I enjoyed the first few times. The camera is hidden in the fireplace, and I take this picture by pressing a button at the end of a cord. The pictures arrive by mail weeks later, and there's no way an elf can be identified and held accountable. But still, you want to make it a good picture. Taking someone's Taking someone's picture tells you an awful lot. Awful being the operative word. Having the parents in the room tends to make it even worse. It is the standalone policy to take a picture of every child, which the parent can either order or refuse. People are allowed to bring their own cameras, video recorders, whatever. It is the multimedia groups that exhaust me. These are parents bent over with equipment, relentless in their quest for documentation. I see them in the maze with their video cameras, instructing their children to act surprised.
Monica, baby, look at the train set and then look back at me. No, look at me. Now wave. That's right, wave hard.
The parents hold up the line, and it is a maze elf's job to hurry them along. "Excuse me, sir. I'm sorry, but we're sort of busy today, and I'd appreciate it if you could maybe wrap this up. There are quite a few people behind you." The parent then asks you to stand behind the child and wave. I do that. I stand beside a child, and I wave to my video camera, wondering where I will wind up. I picture myself on the television set in a paneled room in Waffen or easternmost meadows. I picture the family fighting over command of the remote control, hitting the fast forward button. The child's wave becomes a more rapid salute. The moment these people are waiting for is the encounter with Santa. As a photo elf, I watch him enter the room and take all control.
All right, Ellen, I want you and Marcus to stand in front of Santa, and when I say now, I want you to get onto his lap. Look at me. Look at Daddy until I tell you to look at Santa, okay?
He will address his wife, who is working the still camera, and she will crouch low to the ground with a light meter and a Nikon with many attachments. It is heavy and the veins in her arms stand out.
Then there are multimedia families and groups who say,
"All right, now let's get a shot of Anthony, Damascus, Teresa, Doug, Amy, Paul, and Vanity. Can we squeeze them all together? Santa, how would you let Doug sit on your shoulders? Can we do that?"
He's a lord. Yeah, he knows. He called you.
during these visits, the children are rarely allowed to discuss their desires with Santa. They're too busy being art directed by their parents.
Vanity, Damascus, look over here.
Santa, can you put your arm around Amy and shake hands with Paul at the same time?
Oh, that's good. That's nice. That's nice.
Young children, ages 2 to 4, tend to be frightened of Santa. They have no interest in having their picture taken because they don't know what a picture is. They're not vain, they're babies. They are babies and they act accordingly. They cry. A photo elf understands that. When the child starts crying, it's over. They start crying in Santa's house and they don't stop until they're at least 10 blocks away. When a child starts crying, Santa will offer comfort for a moment or two before saying,
Maybe we'll try again next year.
The parents had planned to send the photos to relatives and place them in scrapbooks. They waited in line for over an hour and are not about to give up so easily. Today I saw a woman slap and shake her sobbing daughter, yelling,
Damn it, Rachel! Get on that man's lap and smile. I'll give you something to cry about.
I often take photographs of crying children. Even more grotesque is taking a picture of a crying child with a false grimace. It's not a smile so much as a forced shape of a smile. Oddly pleases the parents.
Good girl, Rachel. Now let's get the hell out of here. Your mother's got a headache that won't stop until you're 21.
So far in Santaland, I've seen Simone from General Hospital, Sean from All My Children, Walter Cronkite, and Phil Collins. Last year, one of the elves was suspended after asking Goldie Hawn to autograph her hand. We have been instructed to leave the stars alone. Many of Santa's visitors are from out of town and welcome the opportunity to view a celebrity, as it rounds out their New York experience. I point out Phil Collins, and many would literally squeal with delight. Seeing as it is my job to make people happy, I didn't have any problem with it. Phil Collins wandered the maze, videotaping everything with his camcorder and enjoying himself. Once he entered the magic tree, he was no longer visible to the maze entrance, so I began telling people that if they left immediately and took a right at the end of the hall, they would catch up with Phil Collins and after his visit with Santa. So they did. People left. When Phil Collins walked out of Santaland, there was a crowd of 20 people waiting for autographs. When the managers came looking for the big mouth, I said, Phil Collins, who's he? I spent a few hours in the maze with Puff, a young elf from Brooklyn. We were standing near the lollipop forest when we realized that Santa is an anagram of Satan, Father Christmas, or the devil. So close, but yet so far. We imagined a Satan land, where visitors would wade through streaming pools of human blood and feces before arriving at the gates of hell, where a hideous imp in a singed velvet costume would take them by the hand and lead them towards Satan. Once we thought of it, we couldn't get it out of our heads. Overhearing the customers, we would substitute the word Satan for the word Santa.
What do you think, Michael? Do you think the Macy's has a real Satan?
Don't forget to thank Satan for that baby alive he gave you last year.
Yeah, I love Satan.
Who doesn't? Everybody loves Satan.
I would rather drive upholstery tags into my gums than work as the usher elf. The usher stands outside of Santa's exit door and fills out the photo forms. While I enjoy trying to guess where people are from, I hate listening to couples bicker over how many copies they want. It was interesting the first time I did it, but not anymore. When parents make up their minds, the usher has to prevent the excited children from entering Santa's back door and to call out the names of 3 or 4 toys that he neglected to mention. When things are slow, an usher pokes his head in and watches Santa with his visitors. This afternoon we were slow and I watched as a 42-year-old woman and her ancient mother stepped in to converse with Santa. The daughter wore a short, pink dress, decorated with lace, the type of dress that a child might wear. Her hair was trained into pigtails and she wore ruffled socks and patent leather shoes. This 40-year-old girl ran to Santa and embraced him, driving rouge into his beard. She spoke in a baby voice and then lowered it to a whisper. When they left, I asked what they wanted to purchase, and the biggest little girl in the world whispered something in her mother's ear and then skipped away. She skipped! I watched her try and commune with the youngsters standing around the register, and so their mother had to poke her away. This morning I spent some time at the Magic Window with Slaybell, an entertainer who's in the process of making a music video with all her girls singing. We talked about one thing and another, and she told me that she appeared on a few television shows, mainly soap operas. I asked if she had ever been on One Life to Live, and she said yes. She had a big part as a flamenco dancer a few years ago when Courtney and Tina remarried and traveled to Madrid for their honeymoon. And suddenly I remembered Slaybell perfectly. On that episode, she wore a red lace dress and stalked upon a shiny nightclub floor until Spain's greatest bullfighter entered, challenging Cord to a duel. Slaybell intervened. She stopped the dancing and said to Cord,
Don't do it, Senor. You'd be a fool to fight with Spain's greatest bullfighter.
Now, Slaybell told me that the honeymoon was filmed here in the New York studio, and that surprised me because I really thought we were shot in Spain. She told me that the dancing scene was shot in the late morning, and afterwards there was a break for lunch. She took her lunch in the studio cafeteria and was holding her tray when Tina waved her over at the table. Slaybell had lunch with Tina. She said that Tina was very sweet and talked about her love for Smokey Robinson. Now I had read that Tina had driven a wedge between Smokey and his wife, but it was thrilling to hear from someone who had the facts.
Okay, so I'm gonna cut in. Thank you. So hopefully enjoyed. Let's give a round of applause to our Santaland Diaries. Now, if you enjoy this sort of humor, there's a lot more to the Santaland Diaries if you're interested, and if you're interested, you could also look into additional readings by humorist David Sedaris. But now we're going to move to the next part of our program. Now, this part of the program is a series of shorter pieces, and the intent of these shorter pieces is really to dig into the meaning of the holiday season. Sometimes that can get lost a little bit, so it's kind of nice to examine some poems and short works that help us remember what these holidays are really all about. So, the first of these poems that we're going to take a look at is a Hanukkah poem, and it is entitled Light the Festive Candles, and is going to be read by Sophia Cherry. So enjoy the poem. Thank you, Sophia.
Light the first of 8 tonight, the farthest candle to the right. Light the first and second too, when tomorrow's day is through. Then light 3, and then light 4, every dusk one candle more, till all 8 burn bright and high, honoring a day gone by. When the temple was restored, rescued from the Syrian lord, and an 8-day feast proclaimed, the Festival of Lights, well named, to celebrate the joyous day when we regain the right to pray to our one God in our own way.
Beautifully read, thank you very much. And we're going to follow that up with a second Hanukkah poem entitled Season of Skinny Candles.
A row of tall, skinny candle burns quickly into the night air, the shames raised over the rest for its hard work. Darkness rushes in after the sun sinks like a bright plug pulled. Our eyes drown in the night, thick as ink pudding, when even the moon starves to a sliver of a quicksilver. The little candles poke holes in the blackness. A time to eat fat and oil, a time to gamble for pennies and gamble around the table, a light and easy holiday. No disasters, no repentance, just remember and enjoy. The miracle is really 8 days and nights without trouble. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sophia. And next we are going to move on to a piece that reminds us of the importance of unity in Kwanzaa. This piece is going to be read by Maggie Liu. Thank you, Maggie.
Here we are on distant shores, searching for loved ones lost, knowing their pain and suffering was an ocean of love lost. Can't you see the sun shining, bringing energies of love? Come, my people, unite together. Wake up, stand up, be the love for all. The bells are ringing, it is time to answer the call of one. Get together, my brothers and sisters. It's time, you must unite as one. Unite, unite, it is time, it's time. You must unite as one. Hold together, brothers and sisters. It's time to unite as one.
Beautifully read, thank you very much. Next, we have an exchange, I'll call it, that reminds us of the real meaning of Christmas. And for this exchange, I'm just going to introduce you here to our two characters. This is, well, Virginia, who is left us here, but momentarily, Sophia is playing Virginia. Virginia is an 8-year-old girl. And this is an 8-year-old girl that asked that question that all of us that celebrate Christmas ask at some point, which is Santa Claus real? Virginia, though, thought to herself, you know what, to answer the question, I am going to write to someone that knows. I'm going to write to the newspaper. So Virginia writes a letter to the editor of the New York Sun in 1897 and inquires about Santa Claus. And the response that the editor of the Sun provides, I think, is a really nice reminder about what's really important about the holidays. So Virginia, or Sophia, take it away.
Dear editor, I am 8 years old. Some of my little friends say there's no Santa Claus. Papa says, if you see it in the sun, it is so. Please tell me the truth. Is there a Santa Claus? Virginia O. Hamlin.
Virginia, your little friends are wrong. They have been affected by the skepticism of a skeptical age. They do not believe except they see. They think that nothing that which cannot be comprehensible by their minds does not exist. All minds, Virginia, whether they be men or children's, are little. In this great universe of ours, man is a mere insect, an ant, in his intellect compared to the vast majesty of the universe, and in the great measure of the intelligence capable of grasping the whole of truth and knowledge. Yes, Virginia, Santa Claus is real. He exists as certainly as love and generosity and devotion exists. And you know they are bound to give you a life the highest of beauty and joy. Alas, how dreary would the world be if there were no Santa Claus? It would be as dreary as if there were no Virginias. There would be no childlike faith then, no poetry, no romance to make tolerable this existence. We should have no enjoyment except in sense and sight. The eternal light in which in childhood fills the world would be extinguished. Not believe in Santa Claus. You might not as well believe in fairies. You might as well get your papa to hire men and watch all the chimneys on Christmas Eve to catch Santa Claus. But even if you did, you would not see him coming down. What would that prove? What would that prove? Nobody sees Santa Claus. That does not mean there is no sign again of Santa Claus. The most real things in the world are those that neither children nor men can see. Did you ever see fairies dancing on the lawn? Of course not. That's no proof that they are not there. Nobody can conceive or imagine all the wonders there are unseen and unseeable in the world. You tear apart a baby's rattle and see what makes the noise inside. But there is a veil covering the unseen world which is not the strongest man or even the united strength of all the strongest men that have ever lived could tear apart. Only faith, poetry, love, romance can push aside that curtain and view the picture of supernal beauty and glory beyond. Is it all real? Ah, Virginia, in all this world there is nothing else as real and abiding. No Santa Claus. Thank God he lives and lives forever. Thousands of years from now, Virginia, nay, 10,000 years from now, he will continue to make glad the heart of childhood.
A beautiful reading of such heartwarming sentiment. And next we have a poem. This is a nice poem because I think so many times we get wrapped up in like the miracles of the holidays, the miracle of the Hanukkah lights, the miracle of how Santa gets around the world in one night, but we neglect the miracles that are around us all the time, every single day. And this is a poem by Walt Whitman that pushes us to remember those sorts of miracles. So Eliana, take it away.
Why, who makes much of a miracle? As to me, I know of nothing else but miracles. Whether I walk the streets of Manhattan or dart my sight over to the roofs of houses towards the sky, or wade with naked feet along the beach just in the edge of the water, or stand under trees in the wood, or talk by day with anyone I love, or sleep in the bed at night with anyone I love, or sit at a table at dinner with the rest, or look at strangers opposite me riding in the car, or watch honeybees busy around the hive of a summer forenoon, or animals feeding in the fields, or birds, or the wonderfulness of insects in the air, or the wonderfulness of sundown, or the stars shining so quiet and bright, or the exquisite, delicate, thin curve of the new morn in spring. These, with the rest, on and all, are to me miracles, the whole referring, yet each distinct and in its place. To me, every hour of the light and dark is a miracle. Every cubic inch of space is a miracle. Every square yard of the surface of the earth is spread with the same. Every foot of the interior swarms with the same.
I love that line. Every hour of light and dark is a miracle. It's really beautiful. Next, what we have for you is, you could see our Nightingale Theater members have been actively working on this tree to my right. I think we're all curious if it's going to work, if it's going to light up. A little bit of drama here, which I appreciate. Let's see. Should we try? Hey, there we go. The tree is lit. Success. for the next portion of our reading here, we'd like to take a moment to look at the holidays through the eyes of young children, because that can be kind of funny sometimes. In order to really get into that, we are going to read for you some letters to Santa. So these are real letters that were written by kids to Santa. We'll read them for you and enjoy. We'll also project them. Abigail, you have the projector. All right, thank you. Enjoy letters to Santa.
Dear Santa, I think you are a fat man and I'm not leaving you any cookies because my mom said that Mrs. Claus probably put you on a diet like my mom did with my dad. You need to stay away from the junk food and don't eat too much on your trip around the world. That's why I'm leaving you with vegetables this year. With skim milk. I hope you lose some weight because with all those toys and you, I start to feel sorry for Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donner, and Blitzen. Oh, and yeah, Rudolph. I sure hope you brought everything I asked for. Well, since I didn't see you this year in person, I hope to see you next year. Love you. Bye. Jennifer.
No, it's gonna go up more. You guys think of it?
Hi, Santa. For Christmas, I would like a Hannah Montana movie, Hannah Montana clothes, a Hannah Montana ear microphone, Hannah Montana shoes, a Hannah Montana wig, Hannah Montana jewelry, Hannah Montana books, Hannah Montana coloring books, Hannah Montana stickers, a Hannah Montana backpack, a Hannah Montana bed, a Hannah Montana laptop, a Hannah Montana poster, a Hannah Montana journal and pen, and a Hannah Montana rock star guitar. Love, Ashley.
Dear Santa, my mom makes us watch the Nature Channel, which is very boring, except for the shows on pandas. I've watched many shows about pandas and would like to have a panda for Christmas. Not a stuffed toy either, a real one. Love, Joel.
Dear Shanna, Mommy says you only bring presents for the good little boys. That isn't fair! Brian.
Hi, Santa. I have been very good this year, except for September 13th. That was my birthday, and it wasn't a very good day. Can we please forget about it? Anyway, on to the good stuff. Here's my Christmas list. I hope that you can bring them all. 1, a box of live birds. 2, leopard high tops. 3, a box of fake flowers. And 4, a porter to Narnia. I love you very much. Thank you in advance, Cassidy.
Dear Santa, our dog Misty died this year and I miss her a lot. Can you dig her up? She's in her backyard and make her into a stuffed toy? I would be very grateful. Love, Robin.
Dear Santa, how will you get into our house this year? We don't have a chimney, and my father just installed a very expensive security system. Julie.
Dear jolly old Saint Nick, I've tried to be good Santa, but boys will be boys. You must know that, because you're a boy. Edward.
Dear Santa, for Christmas, I would like $100, but I would like it in quarters, please. Levi.
Dear Santa Claus, 2 years ago, I asked you for a Lady Gaga doll, and you brought me a baseball. Last year, I asked you for a Lady Gaga doll again, and you brought me a baseball bat. This year, once again, I am asking for a Lady Gaga doll. If I say any baseball-related stuff under the tree, I will have no choice but to hunt your lazy butt down and break your fat legs. Capiche? Don't make me come to your house in the North Pole. Merry Christmas. Love, Tommy.
Dear Chris Kringle, please give me a tank, a jet fighter, 20 green soldiers, and a bazooka gun. I'm planning a surprise attack on my brother, so don't tell anyone, please. Thanks, Danny.
Dear Santa, I don't want all the other 9 things on the list that my dad texted you. I only want the puppy. Every time I think about not getting a puppy, it makes me sadder and sadder. I just want one little puppy. Just one. All I'm asking for is one little puppy, perhaps a Labrador or a German Shepherd or a Husky. Thank you, if I discover a puppy in the box under the tree. Love, Emily.
Dear Santa, if you know what my black leggings are, just tell me, okay? Love, Sophie.
Dear Santa, I would like my hair to grow to 5 feet long like Rapunzel for Christmas. Also, can you drop off a live elf at my house? I can use him to help me with my chores. Ellen.
Dear Santa, this is Jenny Leonard. Our fireplace is broken this year, and I'm worried that you can't make it down the chimney. Well, my mom says you'll find a way. Here's what I want for Christmas this year. 1, some candy.
Dear Santa, we left you some cookies and milk on the coffee table. I really hope you enjoy them. I would like an electric scooter, a football helmet, and some neckties for Christmas. I have been very good. I picked up 12 piles of dog poop and made $6. Hope I can be better next year. Love, Scotty.
Dear Santa, I am 8 years old. I am writing to you in the North Pole. I only want one thing. I wish you would bring me a doll dressed in a sailor suit, so I can call it Remus. He should have red hair that is long in the back and short in the front, and be wearing tap dancing shoes. He also needs to have a name tag somewhere on the suit, so that everyone knows he's my doll. Love, Raymond.
Dear Santa, I've been extra good this year and I've been especially nice to my sister, so here's a list that's a little bigger this year. Cash, $200. Dinosaur born, real. Dog, Labrador, preferred. Second hamster, a boy, no girls. Snake cannon, shoots real snakes. Free day off of school, call me in sick, it's fine. Rocket boots, jetpack, and new green pen to write the rest of my list. This is part one, I'll send part two. Love, Nate.
Dear Santa, this is Regan Butler and I live in Ann Arbor, Michigan. This year I would like a new dollhouse and some dolls to go in it. I know you brought me the same thing last year, but my little sister Grace, she's 2, smashed the dollhouse and cut off all my dolly's hair. We don't know how she got a hold of the scissors, and we promise you it won't happen ever again. So, if you could just repeat last year, I would love you forever. Oh, and just in case, you could get my little sister the same thing as me, so she could leave mine alone. Love, Regan.
Dear Santa, if you bring presents that need batteries, bring me batteries. Love, Derek.
Dear Santa, I already sat on your lap in the mall and I told you what I wanted, but I'm writing you a letter in case you forgot. I'd like some new Nintendo games and a Nerf gun and some candy because Mom doesn't let us have any. But she will if you bring it to our house. Also, I need to tell you about my little brother Graham. He needs some teeth. Please, can you bring him some teeth? He's 3 months old and he can't chew anything. You don't have to bring me anything if you could just bring Graham some teeth. Love, Paul.
Dear Santa, for Christmas I want walkie-talkies. I would also like a police car, tickets, guns, and all the other stuff police officers have. Make sure it's a real police car. I also want a play phone and a play computer. Also a play camera, because I don't know where mine is. My sister wants the same thing that I want. Love, Keegan. P.S. I need some medicine for my cough.
Dear Santa, for Christmas I would like $100, a $50 gift card to somewhere I like, and a note signed by my parents saying I'm allowed to paint my nails. Caitlin, yes, the $50 gift card can't be taken to multiple places, and it has to already have money on it. Don't finesse me.
Okay, let's have a round of applause for our readers. Excellent job, readers. Thank you so much to all the participants, and thank you all so much for coming out here and enjoying these stories today. Hopefully these send you off nice and great. Before you dismiss, we do have some music for you on your way out, I suppose you can listen to this lovely music. Enjoy.